Hello ladies and gentlemen, Teo here, playing some Ever17. We reached Whitestock. It didn't look like there was anything wrong with the floor, but I could hear a small hissing sound. I headed in the direction of the noise. Still, there wasn't any sign of this yesterday. Why do you think this happened all of a sudden? Well, everything doesn't always go according to plan. Is that because everyone was bouncing around so much? Coco said this casually. Well, because everyone was making such a commotion. I wonder if that's why Limu started to tilt. Wait, is she talking about the game of tag? Or is this like weird foreshadowing? I don't think so. Maybe it is. Tsugumi laughed softly. But if we make some repairs, everything should be fine. Yeah, I guess so. Right, Tsugumi? Yeah, don't worry about it, Coco. Phew, I'm so relieved. Woohoo, alright! Ruff, ruff. TV telling it like it is. We stood in front of the room where the hissing sound was coming from. Yep, the noise is coming from the warehouse. I'm gonna perform a scan to determine the status of the area. Saying that, Sora disappeared. The steam in there isn't gonna explode if we open the door, right? After I asked that, Tsugumi eyed the door uncertainly. It's probably fine. You can tell? Hey, you aren't... I'm just saying what you want to hear. Sora suddenly appeared near the door. I've run the diagnostic. Atmospheric pressure is normal. No traces of toxic gas detected. The temperature and humidity of the room are rising in slight increments. An area of the pipe is ruptured, and there's a slight water leak. The water is about 4 inches at its deepest point. Man, we're gonna get our socks wet again. That's hardly anything at all. Well, yes, but... Let's go in. If we fix it, there won't be a problem, right? Yes, please hurry. I thought you were gonna say, but there's sharks in there or something. Like, that but was very ominous. I opened the door. I looked at the wall where the hissing sound was coming from. There was a faint crack in the pressure-regulating pipe, and water was dancing out of it in a fine mist. If that's all it was, it didn't seem like we had anything to worry about. I thought we'd be able to fix it in no time. Tsugumi had opened up the toolbox and started spreading a few tools out in front of her. What do we need to do? The pipe is bent a little bit. I'm gonna clamp a metal sleeve on it. Would you support the pipe for me? Roger that. What should I do? On the other side of this, there should be a valve attached to the pipe. You see it? I want you to loosen that a bit. Okay, gotcha. We all started working in unison. We opened and closed the valves on a number of pipes, reattached pipes and welded shut cracks. You seem really used to all this. What do you mean? Welding. Where'd you learn that? You wanna know? Well, it's just that... You know, asking meaningless questions is a bad habit of yours. And after that, I didn't feel I could ask anything else. Sora just stayed close to us, watching. You know, now that I think about it, this sort of generic excuse Tsugumi has come up with for avoiding answering certain questions is, like, a pretty good gambit to pull if you're actually doing some sort of weird time travel thing. Like, in order to avoid accidentally giving away information that you're not supposed to have, you just don't say anything. Seems reasonable. It's a strategy I might adopt myself if I ever, you know, come into possession of a time machine and get trapped in an underwater facility with 5 other people. Possibly 6. After a while, an intercom rang from this corner of the room. Huh, did someone call? I'm sorry, everyone. It seems like Yu is calling me. I need to go. Okay, go for it. We should be able to handle the rest ourselves. Okay, I'll leave the rest to you. Sora got close to the intercom, and it looked like she got sucked into the receiver. That's a sweet trick. I knew she could travel instantly, but still, it was disconcerting. Takeshi, don't just stand there, onto the next pipe. Huh? Oh, okay. First, take that blue valve, and... The water underfoot hadn't gone down at all. Although the drain pipe was moving, the drainage pipe was broken. After that, I want you to turn the red valve. We'd fixed a number of pipes, but the sound of escaping steam still hadn't stopped. Alright, Coco, wait just a bit. Okay, I'm ready. Takeshi, move the valves in the order I told you. Now. Hey, you listening, Takeshi? Huh? Yeah, alright. I'm sorry. Blue then red, right? Yeah, loosen them and then shut them again. I set to work on the blue valve in front of me. I was supposed to loosen this... Which way was I supposed to turn this again? Wow, I'm just supposed to guess my first time around? I mean, I'm gonna cheat and look up a guide, but like... That's messed up. So, we're supposed to go... I guess it was pretty much the same thing for Yu's thing. Like, that piece of paper was so blurry that there's no realistic way I was gonna figure that out. that I was supposed to, like, turn it. Like, the particular angle that I'm supposed to turn it to be able to see the password. So, we're going counterclockwise, then clockwise. Okay. Counterclockwise. I'm supposed to turn this counterclockwise, yeah. I turned the blue valve with all of my strength. The sound of rushing steam grew softer. Alright, next close the red valve. The next valve was nearby. And this one's clockwise, right? Is that what I just said? Yeah, I said clockwise. This one goes clockwise, right? I turned the red valve. The strength of the steam coming from the pipe weakened. Alright, that does it. Okay. Coco, hold on just a little longer. Okay. Holding up her left hand to shield her face, Tsugumi operated the welding torch with her right hand. The crack in the pipe closed visibly. Takeshi, after I finished attaching this, return the valves to their original positions. Okay, gotcha. Tsugumi finished welding. The valve, hurry! Alright, jeez! I quickly turned the valve back in the other direction. I could feel the steam flowing through the valve. Coco, this pipe's done. Go on to the next one. Okay, where is it? Hold on just a second. The water underfoot still hadn't gone down at all and was swirling around. The air conditioner on the wall was sucking in water and gurgling it out. It appeared it had also shorted out. I could see blue-white sparks jumping around inside. I hope it doesn't shock me. I was starting to get a little scared. Crack. Huh? The air conditioner made an awful sound. And all of a sudden, muddy water started overflowing from the exhaust vent. The area around my legs was quickly getting grimy. The drain is starting to backflow. Be careful. Ugh! My leg got caught up in a jet of muddy water and I lost my balance. I reached out to grab something. I caught onto a stack of crates and old containers laying nearby. Crash. Although the crates caught my weight, they shifted and began spilling over. Countless containers and rusty pipes started raining down. They passed me and headed on a direct course to hit the wall. And in their path was... Coco, watch out! What? Get back! Metal was raining down. The old pipe broke apart into thousands of pieces. The containers were splintering. They all struck the surface of the shallow water violently. The sound of hard, heavy objects falling echoed in the room. The whole room quivered. A few pipes along the wall had ruptured and were spewing out water. What, again? That's obnoxious. And where Coco had been standing only a moment earlier. Tsugumi lay, fallen over. Coco looked around at the spectacle and hugged Pee-Pee to her tightly, her hands trembling. Just before the metallic objects had crashed down on Coco's back, Tsugumi had thrust her out of the way. She protected her, while risking her own life. Tsugumi! Ah! A metal shard had dug deeply into Tsugumi's right thigh, and it didn't look like she could move. Steam was pouring out of the burst pipe surrounding us. And the drainage pump, not doing its job, continued belching out muddy water in large quantities. This is quite the situation we've gotten ourselves into. I guess I messed up. Tsugumi grimaced and clasped at her thigh tightly. She was losing a bit of blood. The murky water was getting redder by the moment. Hey, you okay? Does this look okay to you? Always asking stupid questions. Stop laughing! I'm gonna get that stuff off you, just wait. I hurried through the water to Tsugumi and tried to lift the metal off of her. But no matter how hard I tried, the heavy chunk wouldn't budge. Damn it! Looks like it's no use. In the meantime, the water level had risen from ankle to knee height. Tsugumi! Coco crawled over to get closer to Tsugumi. Get away from me! Stung by Tsugumi's cold words, Coco stiffened and stopped. Get out of here, Coco. You too, Takeshi. Get out while you can. At this rate, this room's partitions won't last. You'll all die if you stay. So, hurry! Get out of here. But... Stupid idiot. You think I can just leave you? There's nothing you can do, right? I'm stuck here. And with this injury, you can't help me anyway. Shut up! I roared out. I won't let you give up on me now, damn it! Hey, Coco, what are you standing there for? Well, yes? Get on that intercom and contact the others. With all her might, Coco moved her trembling legs to get closer to the intercom. It's no use. It's broken. I pushed the button, but nothing happens. So run up and tell the others to get over here. Okay, I'm going. Although she looked flustered, Coco nodded and ran off. The door to the warehouse closed. Soon, water came up to the bottom of the door. The water continued to rise. From her waist down, Tsugumi was almost completely underwater. The water level was almost over my knees. What are you trying to prove? Doesn't mean anything. Just leave. I don't want you here. I wouldn't be here if there wasn't a reason. I can't just leave you here. Why not? I've still taken nothing but abuse from you, and you still haven't thanked me properly yet. Oh, really? Well, that's reason enough, I suppose. Tsugumi laughed weakly. Her lips were trembling. Murky water was spreading. It's gotten cold in here. Alright, Tsugumi, I need you to stay with me now. I chose my words as carefully as possible. I'm perfectly sane. You'll be okay. The wound isn't that deep, so don't worry. You'll be okay? What makes you think that? You're the one who's crazy. I'm sorry, it's all my fault. I wasn't paying attention and you got hurt. The water level was rising up to Tsugumi's head. A section of the partitioning had broke, and seawater was rushing in. The water was ice cold and seemed like it would freeze us. The water volume increased mercilessly. Her face contorted with pain. In agony, she labored for breath. There wasn't any time. Making up my mind, I dove into the water. I couldn't open my eyes. All I could do was search the bottom using my intuition. Ah! Damn it! Using all of my strength, I heaved up the large mass of metal sticking into Tsugumi's leg. Aided slightly by the buoyancy of the water, the metal hunk moved slightly. Tsugumi pulled her leg out at once. I lifted my face out of the water, gulping greedily for air. The flooding wouldn't stop. The water level was already above my shoulders. You are such a stubborn idiot. Shut up and just keep quiet. With her leg injured, there was no way Tsugumi could swim. Holding onto her, I headed for the exit, but the door was already underwater. Look, there's no way you can save me. I told you to keep quiet. There's gotta be another exit. I'll look for it. It'll be okay. We'll find a way out of this. There you go again, saying it'll all be okay. So irresponsible. You keep quiet. I probably could have forced open the door if I had tried, but that would have put the second floor in danger of flooding. I searched desperately for an emergency exit. My legs wouldn't touch the floor. I could hardly breathe. I was at my limit. There's a ladder! In the corner of the room, there's a ladder. We can use it to get to the emergency passage. We're gonna make it, Tsugumi. I swam with all my might to get to the ladder. With Tsugumi draped over my back, I climbed up the ladder. I opened the flood hatch at the end of the ladder and pushed Tsugumi through. Going up immediately behind her, I quickly shut the hatch. The sound of the flood faded away. Hey, we did it! But there wasn't time to rest. We didn't do it. Tsugumi was still losing blood. I took her up on my back and began to run. Damn, which way should I go? A dead end in the passage had me totally lost. Takeshi! Sora appeared suddenly in front of me. Sora, Tsugumi is... I know, I heard everything from Coco. Bring her to the infirmary immediately. Yu is currently preparing to treat her. Alright, I'm on my way. Now, which way do I go? Return back along this passage, go down the stairs to the right, and take the standard passage to... Okay! Tsugumi! It's okay, it's gonna be okay. Tsugumi groaned painfully from her place on my back. Even if she thought it was irresponsible of me, I couldn't bring myself to tell her it's no use, it's too late. As long as I had even a little hope, I didn't want to throw it away. I burst into the infirmary. I set the injured Tsugumi down on the bed. She'd lost so much blood. We had to take emergency measures immediately. Hey, what are we gonna do? Get out of the way. Yu, who'd been waiting in the room, pushed me out of the way. A tourniquet was taken out from the rack of medical instruments on the wall and fastened around Tsugumi's thigh. This is bad. What's the status? How bad is it? Just let her work, dude! Can we use that scanner to check it out? They pointed to the LMRI. It seems to be broken. And also, you don't need an MRI to, like, tell what the problem is if there's a hole in her leg and blood is coming out. I'll have a look. Sora put her hand on Tsugumi. A holographic window appeared in the air. A small sensor or camera started moving on the ceiling. Well, this is just a bioscan, so I can't tell for certain, but... Her femur is fractured, and it looks like it might be compound. That, and the artery is severed. She'll need sutures. I've stitched up my finger before. It was with a survival kit, but... Well, do you think you can assist me? I'll do my best. Do you have anesthetic? I'll get it ready. The laser scalpel, forceps, and sutures, everything we need is already in the room. Sora moved the electronic wagon and used its robotic arm to gather the necessary surgical tools. You flipped up Tsugumi's skirt and started wiping off the wound. Takeshi! Don't stand there, you're in the way! You pointed angrily at the exit. Yes, sorry. Take care of her, okay? Leave it to me. You looked determined to show us all what she was capable of. As soon as I left the tense atmosphere of the emergency room, my fatigue hit me. I set myself down on a nearby chair. Oh, Takepyeon, is Tsugumi gonna be... Coco was holding on a pee-pee, but looked as if she was having a hard time relaxing. You let them know right away, so she should be fine. Really? Coco's eyes were moist. It was hard to tell, but she had probably been crying moments earlier. Even still, she tried to smile. Hey, you think Tsugumi's gonna be okay, right? Still looking worried, she tilted her head as she asked me. Yeah, she'll be okay. Absolutely fine. I closed my hand into a fist, and told myself, she's gonna be okay. After what seemed like an eternity, you appeared from the infirmary with Sora. The surgery was over. Tsugumi was going to live. Hey! It required a total of 40 stitches and it'll take 2 months to heal completely. And it'll take her a few more months to be able to walk normally. Until a rescue team arrives at Limu and we can get her out of here, she's gonna have to rest. Alright, thanks Sora. And good job, you. You? What's wrong? What? Oh, nothing. I'm just really tired. You know. I've never done an operation like that before. After that, you looked down and didn't say much. By the way, it looks like the flooding stopped in this White Stock warehouse. All pipelines connecting to the warehouse have been closed as an emergency measure, and the whole area has been sealed off from Zweit. So, we don't have to worry about the flood damage expanding. That's it then. Well, better than the alternative, I guess. We were just killing time. We still couldn't think of any way to escape. Still, we didn't want to feel like we were completely wasting our time. So we all decided to wander around Limu one more time. As we made the rounds, I said things like, let's find something decent to eat. No more of those chicken sandwiches from the kiosk. Hey now, don't you go shit-talking the chicken sandwiches. Chicken sandwiches have a family, sir. And how many people can really ride on an A that doesn't have enough buoyancy? I also made other ridiculous propositions. Everyone's getting a little sick of me, but they still laughed along. We all knew. As long as we were doing something, it kept our minds off things we couldn't change. Like about how there was no way out, or remembering where we were. We decided to meet at 8 PM for dinner. Everyone was left to wander around freely until then. Still an hour to go. As I walked around the second floor, still thinking about what to do, I found myself in front of the infirmary. I thought Tsugumi would still be sleeping in bed. Maybe I should check on her. As I stood in front of the sliding door, it opened. I could smell the faint but harsh odor of disinfectant. Takeshi, what are you doing here? You greeted me with slight surprise as I entered the room. Nothing really, I just thought I'd get some coffee to wake me up. What about you two? What are you and the kid up to? It looked like she was in the middle of spreading out tools and parts next to the LMRI scanner. The kid was crouched down by the scanner as well, looking at what appeared to be pages of data. Well, you know, I thought I'd try to fix this machine after all. Wow, and the kid's helping? You got it. He's much more helpful than he looks. He's really quick at reading blueprints. Sometimes that happens, where the kid will be strangely good at something. Wonder why that is. That's what I'd like to know. You have no idea? Nope, not a clue. There might be some reason, but... The kid hung his head, thinking, Hey, don't worry about it. No use wondering about it now. It'll all make sense anyway when your memory comes back. Hey, kid, can you hand me that wrench? This one? Yeah, thanks. Here we go. You sat cross-legged on the floor and began to unscrew the cover of the scanner. Hey, I can see up your skirt when you sit like that. Cut that out! Quit looking, this isn't a peep show. Alright, I was just joking. I raised both hands and backed away. But you know, while the kid's head is clear, maybe we should tackle some of the trickier problems. Huh? Why? Because what if he hit his head or something, and he's only gonna be good at this stuff for a little bit? Maybe it jostled some brain cells into action that don't usually get used. Oh please, this isn't a comic book, right kid? Listen, don't ask me! Oh, that's right. So, what's a comic book again? What? You've even forgotten comics? Wow. What a cruel existence. Why even bother living at that point? Well, I have a vague sense that I've heard the word before. Wow, to forget about comic books. You know, you're missing out on about 20% of life right there. The kid and you continued their strange conversation. And I started to feel like there was no real reason for me to be there at all. Well, hang in there. I turned my back to leave. Hey, Takeshi. You stood up abruptly and came to stand in front of me. You came to check on Tsugumi, right? She's sleeping in the bed over there. She isn't conscious yet, and of course she can't move her body. She really just needs to rest. Yu was speaking slowly, her eyes cast down. For some reason, her expression hardened. And it's not that I'm so sure of myself, but still, I've done my very best for her. I can't guarantee that she will, but I want her to get better. So we'll just... I know you, and I'm really grateful for what you've done. I looked her straight in the eyes. If you hadn't done that surgery, Tsugumi wouldn't have made it. We still don't know if she really will recover. You worry too much. What, don't you trust yourself? No. I'm not a trained doctor or anything. I don't think that Tsugumi will give up so easily. She'll pull through, I know it. She'll, be just like she was before in no time, and give me a hard time as usual for sure. I guess so. Actually, I'm starting to feel the same way. She gave me a small smile. Well then, I guess I'm off to see that mean-spirited girl's face. So fix that scanner, okay? Just leave it to me. You plopped down again, and she and the kid began grappling with the now coverless scanner. I went toward the bed in the back. Tsugumi was stretched out peacefully. It was probably due to the serious nature of the operation, but she was getting an IV. At least she wasn't hooked up to a respirator. Then again, that could have been because the infirmary didn't have a respirator. Thankfully, she didn't look like she was in pain. She was sleeping so serenely, I could almost believe that she would recover quickly. I remembered how she dragged me behind her as she ran through the aquarium, how tough she was, so much stamina. She lay under a white blanket. Her right foot was completely covered with a brace and bandages. I couldn't tell what kind of condition it was in. I realized something as I neared the bed. That smell of antiseptic that I had first recognized when I came into the room. It was still strong and harsh around the bed. I looked down at the floor, and it was as if the tiles were blurring, changing color. It's the color of her blood. It was the raw, brutal traces of the surgery. I gently squeezed Tsugumi's hand, which was peeping out from under the blanket. Sorry. It was my fault that this has happened to her. If she doesn't make it, it wasn't the kind of thing made better by an apology. And even if she did recover, what would I say to her face? It would only be natural for her to hit me or yell at me. So sorry. All I could do was repeat it over and over to Tsugumi, who couldn't even answer. Takeshi. There was a voice behind me. Letting go of Tsugumi's hand, I quickly whirled around. Oh, hey, Sora. Sora had suddenly appeared behind me. It's unlikely that Tsugumi will wake up for a while. The anesthetic is still in effect. It's probably best to leave her alone right now. Yeah, I suppose you're right. So Takeshi, are you free right now? Who, me? Yes, if it's alright, I'd like to talk to you. Talk about what? Well, you see, a secret. She laughed a little. Sora wants to keep something secret? I was a little shocked. This room is, well, why don't we go outside? And I'm supposed to choose to go, right? Yeah, makes sense. Okay, where are you going? To the dolphins. To the dolphin carousel. I like that place. Alright, let's go. As we left the infirmary, you and the kid were looking at me with curious expressions on their faces. What's up with them, looking like they were just bit on the butt by something? I assume it's because Sora's invisible to them or something. Sora answered me with an amused laugh. They thought you were talking to yourself. Huh, okay. No, wait, why? I was talking with you. Jesus, Takeshi, how long does this concept take to get through your head? Like, hologram. Maybe if I say it slowly enough, it'll, like, pass through the monitor and he'll be able to hear me. Odds aren't good, but, you know, I'm willing to try anything at this point. Didn't I say that I wanted to talk to you about something secret? Oh, now I get it. Oh my god, finally. Apparently you and the kid couldn't see Sora. Little slow on the uptake, are we? We reached the dolphin carousel. The circling dolphin stood still in the silence. So quiet. Sometimes it seems like the everyday hubbub is all an empty lie. Sora spoke quietly. I apologize, that was inappropriate. Doesn't fit the moment. No, I don't mind. If I'd known about this place days before... Yeah, and if I'd seen it back in the days when it was full of people, I'd probably be thinking the same thing. Sora, how long have you been here at Limu? I started working at a functional level in April of 2011. So, since then. 6 years, huh? Yes, that is correct. 2,223 days. Sora narrowed her eyes. She was nearly overcome by some feeling. Could it be nostalgia? It didn't seem like a programmed emotion. She must treasure memories of this place. We gazed at the figures of the silent dolphins for a while. So, listen, Sora. I broke in, hoping it was the right moment. Yes? What is it? You said you had to talk to me about a secret? Are you ready to tell me about it? Ah, yes, that's right. She straightened and turned to face me. Then suddenly her face shone as she said, Takeshi, shall we play tag? What? All that build-up and that's what we're getting? That is... I'm gonna be honest. If I, 3 lines ago, had been asked to make like a top 5 list of things I was expecting Sora to tell us, after she drags us out here and like starts reminiscing and telling us that it's a secret and whatnot, shall we play tag is definitely not on that top 5 list. Probably not in a top 10 list, or a top 20 list. Like, you have to go pretty deep before I've, like, consider the fact that she might want to play tag. You have to go pretty deep. What? Kick the can was so much fun yesterday. So, won't you play tag with me? Tag? I couldn't quite grasp the connection. Come on, Takeshi, you have to. Try and catch me. She casually floated up off the ground and moved off as if she were gliding. That strikes me as cheating. Like, pretty sure if you're gonna play tag against somebody who can't fly, flying should be one of the first things you ban. Hey, wait a minute, Sora. Come on, this way. Where'd you go? I immediately looked around for her. Right here. Over here. Where are you looking? She would flicker into view here and there and then disappear again. Oh god. I think I went over this in one of the previous videos, but like, now that Sora knows how to troll people, she is going to be a force to be reckoned with. Hey, you! This way, this way. What's the matter? I'm right here. Laughing, she would show herself in one place, then disappear. Oh, come on, what is this? You know as well as I do. There's no way I can catch you. No matter what I do, I can't grab hold of you. What, really? Wait, that's cheating. I thought she said that her program didn't support, being in multiple places at once. We've been lied to? Sora A. What, really? No, surely not. I see. I didn't realize that. She was playing dumb. Sora had split into 3 images. What the heck? What's happened to you, Sora? What could it be? She shrugged exaggeratedly. All 3 leaned toward me at the same time. Do you think I'm strange? Is there something wrong with me? I'm the one who should be asking that question. What the heck's going on here? I don't even know myself anymore what's going on. I feel all happy and fluffy. She was floating around like somebody who was slightly drunk. I started to worry. Sora, are you okay? You sure you're not sick or tired? Nothing's bad happened, has it? Maybe we should get Lemon to check you out, to make sure there's not some serious error. Why, Takeshi? She pursed her mouth and took a huge sigh. Then suddenly she appeared right in front of me in a slightly troubled pose. She didn't move, and there was only one of her. Quick, tag her, tag her! Alright, I'll stop playing around with you. Playing around? Yes! That was just a little joke. Oh god, the AI control us? We're all doomed. Now, for the reason I brought you here. I shook my head, putting my fingers against my temples. Seeing that, Sora smiled at me. Without making any noise at all, the dolphins began quietly circling again. I leaned against a handy artificial rock with a mascot pasted to it. Sora stood at attention once again and began speaking slowly. This is a continuation of our conversation yesterday. The reason why that there's only one being like me in the world, I think I told you, is the policy of my creator. Yeah, but there was just 3 of you, like just now. I saw them with my own 2 eyes. Is this gonna be... Are they gonna do the like PC Master Race thing where like the human eye can only perceive 30 frames a second? So if she was like flickering at like 90 FPS and like dividing the time evenly between the 3, it like looks like there's 3, but she's technically only existing at one place at once? In order to give me a unified individual personality, there are restrictions on my faculties. However, according to theory, several of me can exist at the same time. Just like I showed you before. Shall I show you again? No thanks. I'm still recovering. Alright, I won't do it anymore. She stopped there. She seemed to be thinking about something, then took a deep breath and continued. Just now, could you tell which one was me? Huh? Which one was me? Well, it's a trick question. Don't answer it. Don't answer it. It's a trap. There's no right answer. Like, even if one of them is actually her, there's no right answer. So, the several version of you, they're all different? No. Well, then they're all the same. They're all the same Sora. Correct. She smiled. Wait, there was a right answer? Wow. Yes, they're all me. Perfect copies. No, perhaps it is easier to understand if I use the word clones. Takeshi, are you aware of the clone law that was officially amended in 2010? I am not. Although I'm pretty sure this game came out before 2010, so I'm pretty sure it's not a real thing. I don't see this on the flowchart, so it looks like it's not relevant. But we're gonna save. Because it always makes me like a little bit concerned where there's a choice that doesn't show up on the flowchart, but like feels meaningful, right? Like, maybe this is important. Like, maybe it doesn't play in the flowchart, but like it feels important, right? So we're gonna save just in case, and then we're gonna say no because it's true. No, I don't know. I mean, I forget. 2010? Human cloning, which had been illegal up until then, was allowed by law. 2010. You is like 18 something, we'll call 18-ish. It's 2017, supposedly. Oh no, because if the other you, if the you from the kids route, if that is 15 years in the future, which is a theory I've more or less moved away from by now, then the timelines match up, sort of, right? Because if the second incident is 15 years after the first incident, then it's in 2032, which is 22 years after this law came into existence, right? So if the second you is a clone, this one is spring, right? And then the one from the kids route was fall, right? So fall you, the one from 2032, if my theory about the different timelines is correct. So fall you then would be 22 years after the law came into existence, and she's like late teens. So the timeline matches up there. Interesting. Currently, as long as anyone receives the approval of the authorities, cloning may be used as a method to treat infertility. They take the nucleus from an already cultivated somatic cell, and then insert it into an egg that has had its original nucleus removed. Then they implant it into the mother's womb. Oh, that's right, I remember now. One of my friend's relatives went through it. You understand? Well... What does that have to do with this? Clones develop separately. In other words, they're different entities. They're not the same person. They're more like twins. But their source is the same. She spoke almost casually. Let's go back to what we were talking about. Then she branched into her several cells again. And she said she wouldn't do that anymore. Sure enough, I was dizzy. This me, evenly divided, are all Sora Akinagasaki. That me is over there, and at the same time this me is not there. I'm here, but the me over there is a different me. They're all me, the same me, all me, which means I am one, yet at the same time I am many. I can be in any place, exist everywhere. I am omnipresent. Yes, that's right. There can be several of me existing in the same space at the same time. For example, in front of you and in front of Coco. There and here, there are two of me. But they are definitely not W. What? But why? 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 Because we split off from our swords branching off. Sora danced around in midair. Her other image multiplied and disappeared. It was impossible even to tell their size, amount, or distance. You see, please think of it this way. What if you could be copied exactly, just the way you are? What's she saying? For instance, what if every recollection, thought, feeling, character trait, personality, and emotion that's etched into your mind? In other words, your whole intelligence could be perfectly exactly extracted, and then duplicated in some kind of storage medium, even reproducing all your abilities. Then, where is the real you? The you who stays in your body? Is that the real you? Or is the duplicate character in fact you? The answer is, in any case, the real you does exist in both. If such a thing were possible, you would split in a form of non-meiotic division. In other words, it's not the same as splitting an apple in two. It's as if another apple with the exact mass, shape, and composition comes into being. When that happens, you become two. Sora got rid of all but one extra body and stood in front of me. Now, there were two copies of Sora before me. There was no way to tell which was the original. So we're gonna hear more. But why is Sora telling me all this? I wondered, but kept quiet and listened. Yes, you become two. The two Soras were speaking in unison. Historically, and from that moment forward, the two of you are traveling down the time axis as separate entities. But if you turn around and look at the journey you have taken, you'll see that at one point the two of you were joined together. It's like split from... It is split like a Y, with 2 points emerging from one line, not a W, with 2 separate points of origin. You may be unable to imagine two of yourself, splitting apart and going different ways at a particular moment, which we will use as a reference point. But that is something that's already happened. You're always, incessantly, approaching a choice in each present moment that becomes the past the instant you visit it. Will you choose path A? Will you choose path B? The you that is standing here may have come down path A, but in other time axis, there may be a you who's going down path B. Again, leaning on the fourth wall. And both the you on path A and the you on path B are still both you. Except that the you on path A doesn't know about the you on path B. Because there's no way to know. In the same way, the you on path B probably isn't aware of the you on path A either. Do you? What? I'm so confused. I mean, it makes sense. Like, it's fairly straightforward. But, like, what's the point of this? Like, is she going somewhere with this? Is she gonna, like, end this diatribe with some big overarching statement about her point of view on her own existence? Is this, like, foreshadowing about Yu's identity? Is this foreshadowing about what's happening to everyone? Is this, like, meta humor related to the fact that I'm playing a visual novel with a choice system? Like, there's so many ways to interpret this conversation we're having, and I'm not sure how many of them are, like, appropriate. I'm gonna go with I don't know. I have no idea what's going on. Yeah, I don't know. I answered honestly. It's because you only have the ability to perceive 3 dimensions. Takeshi, do I look corporeal to you? Of course. In that case, please take out just one of the earphones in your voice adapter and come around here to my side. I carefully removed an earphone and did as she said. Hey Sora, you... Naturally, Sora had become invisible. Where'd you go? I'm here. I can't see you. I haven't moved, and I haven't made myself invisible. Will you please return to where you were? Oh yeah. Hesitantly, I moved back towards where I had been standing. Sora's body, it was like watching something flutter into an empty space. She slowly came into my line of vision. I went back to where I was. I put the voice adapter back in my ear. Sora was standing on both sides of my line of vision as if nothing had happened at all. Now, please close your right eye. Like this? I closed my right eye. The Sora standing on the right side vanished. Only the Sora standing on the left side was still there. Next, open your right eye and close your left. I opened my right eye and closed my left. This time the Sora on the left vanished, and the Sora on the right sprang into view. Now, open both your eyes. Just like before, 2 Soras stood at either end of my vision. To see a 3-dimensional figure, you take 2-dimensional information acquired from both of your eyes, and your brain analyzes and processes it accordingly to gain the correct depth. So, to see a 3-dimensional space from the outside, and be able to recognize it, I don't get it. I don't get it, but somehow I think I do get it. Sora held her hand up in the air. I could see a holograph. A board appeared in midair and neatly folded itself into a square. Then a point of light appeared and started moving. Let's say that there are intelligent beings in a 2-dimensional world. Can they see a 3-dimensional object? They can see a cross-section of a 3-dimensional object, right? No, they cannot. Man, I should have paid more attention when I was reading Flat World. I only got, like, halfway through the book before I got bored. But, from what I hear, it's excellent. The square changed into a cube. The reason is, since they only exist in 2 dimensions, they can only perceive those things which happen on a plane. In a 2-dimensional field of view, only straight lines, 1 dimension, can be reflected. The dots of light were now on all 6 faces of a cube. But each light only moved around the surface of its own square, never intersecting with the other lights. Now then, let's say that for some reason they become 3-dimensional. Then, in their 3-dimensional range of vision, only planes, 2 dimensions, can be reflected. The light from the 6 surfaces gathered together to become 1 and moved to the center of the cube. And in every direction, new holograms of cubes appeared. The cubes lined up surface to surface without even a crevice between them. With 3-dimensional sight, all that happens is the plane reflected in the right eye and the plane reflected on the left eye are synthesized into one image. It would be impossible to achieve something close to the real image of Mount Fuji, for example, even with a finely drawn backdrop. The light floated in each of the cubes. These lights moved incessantly, vigorously colliding into the 6 faces of the cube and moving. But each light never left its cube, and never intersected with any of the other lights. Shall we go over it again? By combining 2-dimensional information coming in at the same time from 2 different sources, you're really just hallucinating that you're perceiving a solid form. That's not true to 3-dimensional vision. 3-dimensional vision is when you can see all 6 sides of a cube at the same time. What? Alright, you lost me. I was with you, and then I was with you, and then you lost me. In an n dimension, you can only obtain visual information in the dimension of n-1. Oh, okay. I sort of get it. That's why if you're on one tip of the Y shape, it means that you cannot be aware of what's happening at the other tip. Let's say that you did obtain a 3-dimensional range of vision. So if you escape the plane of 2-dimensionality, and when you look down from a 3-dimensional space at a 2-dimensional plane, you'd realize for the first time that you were at a particular point on the Y, and realize too that there could be another you that took a different path on the Y. The holographic cubes broke apart and then disappeared. This is like almost identical to the conversation you and the kid have about the third eye in Yu's route, which makes me think that because it's repeated across multiple routes, that this whole fourth dimension thing is going to end up being central, or at least important, to the overarching mystery. Suddenly, my field of vision was filled with a dazzling white light. Sora looked distorted. Then she split into countless versions of herself. I couldn't see anything but Sora's. I couldn't stand to hold my eyes open. Which one was she? Was she all of them? You see, it's the same for three-dimensional space when you acquire four-dimensional vision. In other words, if you escape this three-dimensional space and look down at it from a four-dimensional space, you realize for the first time that you were on one point of the Y, and realize too that there's a you who took a different branch of the Y. In a different history, in a different world, in a different place, another you exists. Understand this? You're omnipresent in the world, and in the same way, so am I. You and I, we're just branches of the Y. However, these divided selves can become one. Okay, that's interesting. Now I have sort of a guess as to why the Cocoa route only opens up once you complete the other 4 routes. So, we're doing a thing where we go across different timelines, but then eventually the timelines are gonna merge? Is that what's going on here? I guess that doesn't really get me any closer to figure out what's going on with you, but, like, is that what they mean by the out of infinity? Like, if there's infinite branching timelines, right? What would getting out of that imply? Is there, like, one timeline that sort of has more sort of inherent trueness than the others? From, like, a meta perspective, that doesn't really make sense. Not like a meta perspective, but from, like, a metaphysical perspective. That doesn't really make sense. Like, from a meta, like, narrative standpoint, obviously it makes sense, like, it's the true ending, so obviously it's the most real. But from, like, a metaphysical standpoint, it doesn't make sense for one timeline to be more real than the others. Interesting. Sora stopped dividing herself. The brightness faded and then was gone. The single Sora quietly fluttered down to stand before me. The dolphins behind us had stopped their revolutions at some point. If the self you don't know were to become inseparably bound with you, if you could stand in a place where you could see and understand all the others that were you, then all the experiences of your other selves would become like your own experiences. Okay, interesting. So maybe there's a point earlier in the story, at the point where it would have broken off into the Cocoa route, where, through some mechanism or another, the active protagonist, either Takeshi or the kid, somehow gets all the knowledge from the other timelines. So it's not that the timelines are necessarily compressing into one, it's that just information from the other timelines is being sent to that one. In the truest sense, you become one being with one experience. But not necessarily, right? Because because the other yous still exist independently. Separately bound, I guess maybe not. You could stand in a place where you could see and understand all the others that were you, and all the experiences of your other selves would become like your own experience. Sure, in the truest sense, you would become one being with one experience. No, not necessarily, right? You'd become one being with one experience, but then the other selves still exist, so it's not like one being. It's possible I'm just being pedantic here, though. I let out a long sigh. Listen, can I just ask you one thing? Please do. Why are you telling all this to me? That is a good question. Sora turned in a full circle right where she was and smiled. It's a legend. Of the origins of Limu, it's a legend passed down through the Lemurian continent. Let's just leave it at that. And you must understand, it's a secret. Sora put a finger to her lips and smiled once again. Weird. We met at the chicken sandwich stand and ate as scheduled. In the end, I didn't fix anything for dinner. Hey, Takeshi. What? Can't you fix anything besides chicken sandwiches? Wait, we had hot dogs just the other day, dude! Well, there's not much I can do about that. There wasn't much at this kiosk except chicken sandwiches to start with. I cooked all the hot dogs this morning, so they're finished. The owner probably just kept them for a little variation. No, really. The kid held the sandwich wrapping in his right hand and twisted around his fingertip. The half-eaten sandwich remained in his left hand, not getting any smaller. It didn't seem like he couldn't finish it. What's the deal? Eat it before it gets cold. Yu was done eating and she peered at the kid's face. Yeah. You must have walked all over looking for something else to eat. There's no use after all, huh? The food washed into the corridors during the flooding is almost all spoiled anyways. But it's okay because we got stuff to make chicken sandwiches than you could imagine. I guess that's true. The kid tore off a piece of the sandwich and shoved it in his mouth. To survive, it's crucial that you have something you can eat. Aren't you all gonna die of malnutrition? I mean, not die. Like, it's what, a week? Probably don't die of malnutrition in a week, but you probably start experiencing negative effects, right? Like, chicken sandwiches can only get you so far when it comes to vitamins and minerals. Hey, looks like you got the picture. Yeah, looks like we got a real survivor on our hands. Yep, that's right. You answered shortly. Huh? Yeah, just a little hobby of mine. Sometimes I like to go into the mountains alone. Wait, what? Ah, I see. When they were talking about a real survivor, I thought that Takeshi was alluding to the fact that the kid had eaten the sandwich despite his better judgment. No, he's referring to Yu's, like, gung-ho attitude about survivalism. That makes sense. Okay, I misparsed that interaction. Yeah, just a little hobby of mine. Sometimes I go into the mountains alone. I carve my own path. Sometimes even get a bit lost. Into the mountains alone? What? Are you training some ancient fighting art on the sly? Jeez, Takeshi, why do you have to get like that? Yeah, out fighting the black bears under the winter moon. Nope, I found out hot springs that nobody knows about. Yeah, deep in the mountains, someplace no one's ever been. Oh, now that is this girl's idea of romantic. You wriggled as if intoxicated by the image. Oh, now I get it. You were soaking in the hot springs with a bear. What is the infatuation you have with bears, Takeshi? Is there something you'd like to share with the class? No. Would you shut up about bears already? So, despite appearances, you're really wild at heart. Oh, what might you be suggesting? You drew her up in an exaggerated fashion. Oh yeah, you talked about stitching up your own finger. I suppose that was also while you were out searching for hot springs? Huh? Oh, yeah, I suppose. It was just a surface scratch, and I only needed a few stitches. Just like I thought bear wrestling. It's supposed to be a comma, not a question mark. Just give it up! You turned red face as she exploded. I can't take this anymore. You let out a sigh and turned away from me. I suppose she was fed up. Maybe I got a little carried away. When Yu's face clouded over a bit. Teasing her couldn't have gotten her that down. Just as I was thinking that, you avoided my eyes and muttered, "Hey, Takeshi. About Tsugumi." It seemed like she wanted to say something, but she didn't know what to say. What's up? What is it? What I mean is, Just then we heard the sounds of people running toward the water toward us. Splish, splash, splish, splash. Hey, what's up? Ow, ow. Hey, Coco, you about ready to eat? Yeah, all that running around has made me starved. Arf. That's right, I remembered she was the only one who hadn't eaten yet. I handed Coco the last chicken sandwich I had kept in the food warmer. Alright, time to eat. Yay, chow time! Oh, this is yummy. This blend of soy sauce, mayonnaise, and fried chicken is perfect. Yum. Supreme. Yeah, kiddo, this is divine, isn't it? Coco shot the question to the kid, who was standing in front of the store. Yeah, sure. But I'm getting a little tired of it. A last bit of unfinished sandwich remained in his left hand. Really? Put some of this on, it'll be even better. Huh? What is that? Here it comes, ooey gooey. Coco pulled out a tube that she had hidden behind her back, held her over the kid's sandwich and squeezed. What the heck is that? Sour cream! What? First of all, where'd you get that from? Second of all, like, odds are decent that it's spoiled by now. Third of all, like, who the hell puts sour cream on a chicken sandwich? It's supposed to be for salads. It was the last one at the gift shop. The tube said, oh yeah, also, fourth of all, since when does sour cream come in tubes? Like, every sour cream container I've ever seen has been like a tub, not a tube. The tube said, add some spice to your life, and crab-flavored cream sauce, mild. Oh, God. What if instead of putting that in our mouths, we just didn't? We put it in the trash. Or really any place that wasn't our mouth. That could really broaden your culinary horizons. Yep. She doused her sandwich with the sour cream, opened her mouth wide, and shoved it in. Okay, so we have 2 people in our party who are, touched in the head when it comes to matters of condiments. Good to know. Delicious. It doesn't get any better than this. The kid looked at her doubtfully before taking a bite. Not bad. This might be what it needed. Wait, seriously? You trying to tell me that that was a good idea? I'm a little bit horrified and a little bit curious. I told you! Yummy, yummy! Oof. With that, both Coco and the kid covered their sandwiches with cream before polishing them off. Alright, I'm horrified. Hey, Takepyon. Coco called to Takeshi while crumpling up her sandwich wrapping. Huh? What are we gonna do with Tsugumi's sandwich? How's about I hold on to it for her? Well... I had made it for her and I had stuck it in the warmer to keep it for her. But then again... Sorry, Coco. Tsugumi's still asleep. She won't wake up for a while, so... You gave Coco a pat on the head. Is that right? Yep, I bet she's pretty tired. Let's let her sleep a bit longer. Okay then, so she can eat it later after she wakes up. Huh? Let's save it for her. No snacking on it either. Coco pointed to the sandwich nestled deep in the food warmer, so she'd noticed it. Alright, roger that. Great! Okay, time for some after-meal exercise. Ow, ow! Oof. Hey, hold on, I want to go too. Splish, splash, splish. Coco, the kid, and Pee-Pee ran toward the rest area together. You and I watched them from behind. Oh, by the way, you. Is Tsugumi resting up? Yeah, actually, I just stopped by the infirmary to check on her. How was she? I'm not a medical expert or anything, so I can't say anything specific. But she seems to be recuperating. Satisfactory progress, I think. Maybe too satisfactory. What do you mean by too satisfactory? I really don't know how to put it. You suddenly stopped talking and let her head fall forward. Well, if her condition is stable, that's good, isn't it? The operation went well, right? Yeah. What's up with you? Lose your confidence somewhere or something? No, it's not that. Yeah, that's it. You lifted her head as if she had just realized something. Perhaps I've lost some of my confidence, but I know Tsugumi is recovering. Life force is an amazing thing, right? You know, humans don't die so easily. You smiled when she said that. I feel like there's some crucial context I'm missing here. After dinner, when we finished cleaning up, we made our way to the rest area. 4 stone statues were lined up in one corner of the area. One of them extended a hand, pointing toward the south. Another reached toward the east. Yet another hand looked up to the heavens while reaching a hand upward. The remaining figure had both hands pressed to its chest and eyes closed. I wondered if there was some kind of meaning to all it. I asked you, but she just shook her head unknowingly. It looked like Coco, the kid, and Pee-Pee were running amongst the figures as they played. By the way, I wonder where Sora went. Hey, you're right. Now that you mention it, Sora was here until just before we ate. Maybe she's still in the control room? It only happens once in a while, but sometimes she'll dive in at Lem's main console and not come out for quite a while. Really? Seems like she can get pretty caught up in her work. I wondered if that was all it was. Well, I'll go check it out. Alright, you do that. With that, she ran out a nearby exit and down the corridor. As for me, after a quick stretch, I let my eyes follow Coco and the others. The same 2 people and 1 critter were circling around the stone statues. It seemed like they were playing a game of chase, not really caring about who was it. Without seeming to get bored, they kept running around and around the same place. On the other hand, I got restless watching them. Phew, what a sight. It looked kind of fun, but I didn't quite feel like asking to join in. I let my eyes roam around. Whoa! Sora, so that's where you were? After her unexplained disappearance, Sora was now standing next to a nearby flower bed. Yes, I've been here for a little while. I've been looking at the flowers. I looked around at the flowers. In the flower bed, short roses, marigolds, and margarettes were all planted together. Yeah, but they sure don't seem to be doing very well. I see what you mean. Nobody had watered them for the past several days. The soil was dry, its surface cracked. The flowers had wilted and the plants were beginning to dry up. Life is sure a strange phenomenon, Sora muttered to herself as she gazed at the flowers. A bud sprouts from a seed. A flower blossoms, reproduces, a seed matures, and returns to the earth. From that seed comes another bud, another flower, which blossoms and reproduces, a new seed, which in turn returns to the earth. And on, just like that. What is the purpose of life? Why do flowers bloom? I was unable to reply at once. Yeah, I don't blame you, dude. Why indeed did flowers bloom? Whatever the reason or purpose, I think life is a wonderful thing. When I see a flower struggling to exist, growing from a crack in the concrete, I have a strange and wonderful feeling. Flowers are always striving desperately to live. Even in an environment such as this, in the depths of the ocean, without enough light or carbon dioxide. Even in such parched and crashed soil. They never even think of giving up, but just struggle courageously to live. Doesn't that inspire you? Or maybe not. Maybe it's no use contemplating the meaning or purpose of flowers. Sora glanced up at the ceiling. I followed suit, also looking up. Huh? The shrill sound of a siren rang out loudly. Tiny sensors hidden in the opening of the ceiling panels were moving wildly. Once again, I heard the sound of flowing water coming from somewhere. No way. Can't be another flood. Whoosh! Massive amounts of water rained down from the ceiling. The drops poured down upon us mercilessly. Soon after, we were suffused in a heavy mist. Sora's appearance changed to that of a rainbow. What in the world? Hey, Sora, what's going on? I tried to steady myself while asking. She wanted to water the flowers, so she watered the flowers. However, it seemed like a smile hovered about Sora's mouth. Sora? I looked up again, checking the ceiling. The drops of water were everywhere. I couldn't see much due to the fine mist. But, oh, it's sprinklers, huh? Sora nodded without speaking. Water. I sipped water from my cupped hands, both tasting and testing it in my mouth. The water from the sprinklers was neither a liquid to extinguish fires nor seawater. Ah, this is filtered water. Yes. This complex uses the purest possible water. That means, perhaps it's meant for watering the flowers? Sora gave a small grin and laughed. She laughed but didn't answer. The ceiling was designed so the water sprayed down perfectly on the roses and the other flowers below. Not long after that... Hey, what's going on over here? Sora, there's an alarm! Sora, Takeshi, are you guys okay? Everyone came running over in a frenzy, splashing water with every step. Don't tell me there's another flood. No. So what is it? Everything's totally soaked. Takepyon, you're drenched. Don't worry about me. The drops of water were still pouring down from the ceiling. Oh man, we ran over here as soon as we saw the warning on the monitor. We were expecting a fire or something. That's what I keep telling everyone. There's nothing to worry about. Let me explain. Wait, first, could you put that away? She held a fire extinguisher in both hands as if braced to use it. She had pulled the safety pin and held out the nozzle, ready to spray at an instant's notice. It was a pretty clumsy-looking attempt. After a while, the water stopped. Sora smiled and gazed at the flower bed. You don't suppose this was just a prank? Now it's my turn to smile. Yeah, I guess it was something like that. Over on the wall, there's a kind of weird shaped and colored button. I thought, what the heck does this do? I couldn't help giving it a little push. When I said that, you tossed the fire extinguisher aside. Then she turned to hide her face to try and contain her laughter. Takeshi! She balled up a fist and swung it in my direction. Listen here, you're not a kid, you know. Just who broke the group rules the other day, huh? What are you thinking? He was poised to launch into a sermon. She rambled on, but the words didn't reach my ears. I was gazing in wonder at the flowers. The previously wilting and drooping flowers had, in such a short time, become full of life and seemed to be dancing about. And on that delightful floral note, I will be closing this video. I will catch you all on Monday. I hope you all have a lovely weekend. Unless, of course, you're watching this in the future, in which case, haha, you don't get to have a weekend, and I do, so, bite me.